100 seasons of BYU football rolls on, and our interviews with elite athletes and performers for BYU football are going right along with it. Another trio with us now. We welcome Rob Morris, Chris Hoke, and John Tait to the stage. These guys knew the highest levels of BYU football in the 90s. And I need to point out the Super Bowl rings once again. Chris put me up to this, Rob. He said, just start with the rings because I've got two on and Rob only has one.
Yeah. Well, here's the thing, right? I mean, Rob should have had a handful, but because of the Pittsburgh Steelers, he only has one. We have two. So we'll start there.
Another word for the reason why I don't have.
No, it was great. Listen, Rob and I played in a lot of big games, and I have a great picture I was telling him yesterday. After we beat them in the AFC Championship game, or AFC divisional round game, he and I were talking at midfield, and then we were walking off the field, and they got a great picture of me holding my helmet in the air to the Steeler fans, and then up on the Jumbotron, in the same picture, is Rob walking off the field with his head down. And I look at that all the time and just laugh because I know I got one up on Rob. Very few times I have one up on Rob, but I got one up on him there.
Rob asked for a barrier before we began this interview between you two, by the way.
I'm sure that's happening right now. Nobody's even hearing me talk right now.
That's what you get for coming on with the media personality.
Great stuff. John, how would you sum up your beginnings of BYU football? Like, why did you? Because you're a highly recruited guy. You could have gone anywhere, and you played offensive line with the highest, I guess, at the best of levels at BYU. Why did you settle on Brigham Young University?
I was always a BYU fan growing up. I remember watching the Miracle Bowl and when I was a kid. And, I graduated high school in 1993. And, they'd won the national championship less than 10 years prior. Mo Elwanibi won the Allen Trophy, a few years before. You had Ty Demmer win the Heisman. And it was just a really winning program. It was really exciting to be able to go. And, everything worked out pretty great.
So safe to say the 80s carried you to BYU football, but then it's tough to maintain the tradition. But in 1996, you do that, 14-1. What do you remember most about your own special season in the mid-90s?
Yeah, that was pretty great. I had just gotten off my mission, so I hadn't played football for 2 years. And, I found myself starting at left tackle. And the first game was against Texas A&M, and that great game. And, I think when you don't know that you're not supposed to do something, you just got to go out and do it. And, I was able to have a great season. And just the guys on that team were amazing. And, Sark at quarterback and Itula Mealy and Chad Lewis. And it was a lot of fun to be on that team. And those are guys that taught me how to be a football player at BYU.
Chris, you were never in a position where you were asking yourself, what do I do, right? You always knew what to do, right?
No, listen, the reason why I was next to a guy named Hans Olsen, right? He always told me what to do. That's why I knew what to do, and I had Rob behind me. And so I was surrounded by fantastic players, right? And so it made my job easy. I mean, when you could play in front of a guy that's a first-round draft pick, the freight train here, I mean, you knew that the job was going to be easy because all you had to do was just scoot off a block when they were trying to get up on him. And playing for BYU and playing with these guys and for Coach Edwards, there's nothing like it, and it was a dream.
Rob, I still have a freight train whistle in my office. Not a joke. It was donated by a BYU fan. We were talking about you and those things. Do you have one of those?
I think I have 2 or 3 boxes of them in my basement there. You could buy them for $4.99, and I could sell them for $2.99.
Okay, later on eBay. Watch for the post a little bit later. I heard a story about you, Rob, switching positions. Not many people know that at one point BYU wanted you to be a running back, and you had a conversation with Lavelle Edwards, and then things changed after that. So if you wouldn't mind, walk us through the position change with BYU and Coach Edwards.
Yeah, I came in from Nampa in Idaho, wanted to be a running back. That was my dream, play running back, big college. And Lavelle comes scooting up to me my freshman year. I'd been playing running back, and he's in his cart, and I think he has a key in his ear, and he motions for me to get in the cart, and I thought, I've been caught again. I don't know what I did, but he got me. And he said, you can be a pretty good college running back, but if you switch to linebacker, you'll play on Sunday. And that was my last practice as a running back. The next day I was in knee braces with Claude Bassett, running the ladders, and the rest is history.
Wow, it was that fast.
Yeah, it was our bye week, and then my first game as a linebacker, we promptly had the worst loss in BYU history to UCLA. So it was a good start.
Now, joking aside, clearly there have been some ups and downs, but what is it about BYU football that has been so consistent that when lows do happen, BYU bounces back? What was it that made, especially the latter part of LaVell Edwards' coaching tenure, BYU teams so tough when you see so many programs just dip and stay down for a while? That did not happen. What was it that made LaVell Edwards' coach team so special late into the 90s?
Yeah, I think it was the stability. I think we'd all agree you had these guys. I mean, I'm hearing these old-timers talk about, Kurt Gouvet talking about Ken Schmidt. Ken Schmidt coached me and coached, some of these younger guys too. And so there was a lot of continuity with the coaching staff and with, just the staff in the athletic department.
And I think the ability for them to recruit top players, right? They did a great job of evaluating, bringing guys in, having a system where they, it's interesting with the mission program with players leaving and coming back. They had that thing organized so perfectly that they knew who was leaving, who was coming back. And so they were able to have that like a machine that they knew how to keep these things going. But I think Rob hit on it. The stability, the coaching staff, Coach Edwards at the top, all the way down with, I played for Tom Ramage, and he produced a lot of NFL D linemen. And so that's, I think, where it starts, is at that staff.
Now, John, I want to throw out a little bit of a twist in a question here, but BYU was so ahead of the game when it came to passing. And, obviously, you're protecting all the quarterbacks, Sark behind you, and Kevin Federick and others. But BYU continued to perform at such a high level when other teams and other programs were implementing it. They were trying to replicate what BYU was doing. Why was BYU able to continue to push the envelope when they were the first to do it?
I think just the coaches that they had here were just institutions. You had guys like Norm Chow and Roger French. I played 10 years in the NFL, and I was constantly asked, what was Roger French like? What were some of the drills that he had you guys do? I watched a video that he made in the 80s. It was all about pass blocking. He was kind of the godfather of a lot of these, schemes and blocking schemes and things like that. So, that's the kind of thing when you're at the school and you're in it, and you might be a little mad because Roger's riding your butt all day and, in practice. But to be around those guys and to be coached by them was just really special.
All three of you are a huge part of the BYU to NFL pedigree. And what is it about BYU that prepared each of you for that next stage in the National Football League? Chris, we'll start with you.
Like I said, Tom Ramage was just a heck of a football coach, and he taught me how to play with technique. And if you don't have technique, you can't last long in the NFL. And so it was technique. And then I went on to play for the Steelers, and that was all about. They didn't care how you got there. It was, if you're here and you're a Steeler, you're going to be a Steeler, and you're going to play with fanatical effort, and you're going to play with impeccable technique. And that's what I was used to. So it just kind of was just an evolution and a progression of what I did here at BYU.
Rob, you've already answered it partly. You talked about the moment where you switched linebacker, and that led you to an NFL career. And the assistant coaches, what else would you add to that in BYU preparing you for the highest of football?
Yeah, I think for me is they let me be me, which not a lot of people liked when I was playing at BYU, but the coaches let me be me. Coach Schmidt was kind of a get the guy with the ball. And so I learned how to get the guy with the ball. And that's, I always appreciated that. I was never put in a box as a linebacker. I was just allowed to go play, be who I was. And they took advantage of all of our talents and just kind of turned them loose.
John, you were part of an offensive line that put a lot of guys into the NFL. So why wasn't it just you? Why were there so many, do you feel, that were able to make the next step?
Yeah, it's a good question. I think it's an individual decision to be great, to push yourself and to lead others on your team, to want to, just do your best. And the coaches and the players that you play with, playing with these guys, it made you be the top of your game.
Okay, I have to ask, John, would the 14-1 BYU football team beat any other BYU football team if both were competing at the highest level?
I'm not going there. We had a pretty good run. It wasn't bad. It was a lot of fun, and it was inspiring to be with those guys. And again, just being a freshman and my first season to be a part of that team was really special.
It's a very political answer. You have my vote in November.
Whatever you're running, they would beat them all.
Hey, great to have all three of you gentlemen with us, and thanks for being part of 100 seasons of BYU football.
Thank you.
Great stuff.